Hello, hello, hello. Happy Saturday. As always, of course, I'm waiting for YouTube to send out notifications so everybody will know that I'm live. Y'all, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Want to have a bit of a talk. The media is up to their shenanigans again. The media is up to their shenanigans again. And so, quite naturally, we have to have a talk. We got to have a talk. So y'all get on in here, please, and thank you. And happy Saturday. Happy, happy, happy Saturday to everyone. We're going to give them a little minute. I know it usually takes them a while. Also, I wanted to take a look. Hey, somebody's in. Hello, hello, hello. Wanted to be able to take a look at some of these videos that have been going out actively trying to incite people to be afraid when there's nothing to be afraid of. So you guys get in here, please. I know it's going to take them a minute, but it's okay. It's the middle of the day too. I just thought about what time of day it is, and that is enough to make it not so simple to get the notifications out. Hey, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Please double tap the screen. Please put a heart on the screen. Like the live, share the live, let everybody know that we're live over here. We have got to have a quick conversation. Hey, welcome. We got to have a bit of a quick conversation about what's going on. The media is fear-mongering again. Hey, Sven. Hey, DS. What's up, girl? I'm glad you're here because I'm going to need somebody with a wrench today. We got to talk about it. Baby, everything is breaking loose. So, DS, after this, when I finish this one, I'm going to give it a couple of hours and we're going to be on the main channel because I told y'all, you're not in Discord, are you? You need to be. Remember, I just told y'all yesterday, Dineva was keeping a secret for Tamar. We found out what the secret is, girl. You need to get in Discord. So we got to go live over there, too, when we finish this live. But this one, I'm glad you're here. We're going to need a wrench. I anticipate a few liberals may get upset, and that's cool. It's okay if you get upset because we need to have a conversation, and we need to be honest about what's going on. So we're here, dearly beloved. We are gathered here today because liberals are fear-mongering again. I said liberals are fear-mongering yet again. So what's happening is right now we have a couple of issues, right? So we got President Trump saying that, he's setting his sights on Chicago, which I'm glad he is. The people of Chicago, the citizens want him there. The citizens want federal agents there. The citizens want those people out of their neighborhoods. And so, quite frankly, I'm happy that at least somebody who's in charge cares what the people who live in a place want. It cannot just be what Democratic politicians want. Like, who cares? They don't live in those neighborhoods. Let's be honest. They may represent a district, or they may, have, like I said, a congressional district, or they may represent the people in name only. Hey, Maddox. Hey, Aries Son. Hey, Walker. But the reality is they do not represent the needs or the wants of the people. Not really. They just have seats that supposedly represent them. They do not mean good to any of the citizenry. So what's going on in Chicago? It was happening actually during the election, if y'all recall, right? How you doing, Walker? During the election, we saw a lot of Black American citizens going to City Hall meetings. Actually, the people in City Hall were trying to bar them from attending City Hall meetings because they were complaining about immigrants. They were talking about, the way that they are running down their neighborhoods, the fact that, these people were getting all these handouts, and the actual neighborhoods where these people were dropped off were being neglected. And so they didn't want them talking. It's like they wanted to silence the Black American citizens in Chicago because they weren't saying what they wanted them to say. And I thought that was horrible. And so now that we have President Trump in place, who's saying, "Look, I'm setting my sights on Chicago next. We're going to come there. We're going to address what the citizens are complaining about. We're going to address the issue, the immigrant issue in this area." We have the media fear mongering. Oh, they don't want him to come over there. How dare he say that? All the Democrat politicians are saying, "We don't want you here." Of course you don't. Of course you don't. Because we're not going to talk about the fact that Chicago and a lot of areas like it are primarily ran by Democrats. But when you look at the nature of these neighborhoods, the crime in these neighborhoods, the fact that these neighborhoods are so run down, these cities are run down. Any place that is Democrat run is run down. Like, we could literally put it on t-shirts. If it's Democrat run, it's run down. Period. So of course they do not want you to clean it up, because if you clean it up, how would they maintain their power? How would they maintain their control? The Democrat Party is not good for anybody. So that's one thing, right? That's one thing. The next thing that they're fear-mongering about is, oh, Trump is ending integration. He's now at segregation. They're moving the ban to segregation, and now all the corporations are going to segregate, and oh, segregation is bad. Y'all need to be afraid. It's going to come and get you. Segregation's going to get you. And I just want to encourage everybody that is bullcrap. Segregation is not coming to get anybody. That is definite fear mongering. And I want to talk about who's doing the fear mongering. We got to talk about who's doing it. We got to talk about why. That's why I put it in the title. But why? They're fear mongering. They're trying their best to incite Black Americans. Hey, Milton Jarrett. They're trying to incite Black Americans to go and protest. Be afraid. The boogeyman's gonna get you. We're not interested. That's one. The other thing that I've noticed in a lot of these liberal videos are people trying to incite violence against our sitting president. And I want to know why this is not being taken more seriously. Why do we have people making videos on social media trying to incite violence against a sitting U.S. president? Y'all don't think that's odd? Because I do. I think that's very odd. I think something is very wrong with that. It's not normal. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at some of these videos that are out. Chaos says Trump is trying to help legal immigrants no matter what race. I agree. Oh, not Chad. Let me tell you. So there's quite a few unhinged people, and a lot of them are on TikTok, and they're saying things like, "Hey, Ashley Kane." They're saying things like, "Oh, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. It's going to get worse unless something is done to stop Trump." They're using careful wording, but they're trying to incite violence, and that's not okay. Hey, Bianca the Beautiful. It's not okay. And the fact that the media is going silent on this type of behavior, the fact that, two, I want to look at another pattern, right? We're going to look at a couple of videos, but I'm going to point out a pattern, and I want y'all to pay attention. Anytime that you see Democrats talking about, thank you, Chaos, for subscribing. I feel so loved. Thank you. Anytime Democrats are talking about programs that are going to help this or help that, it's never American citizens. It's definitely never Black people in America. But the minute they say that they're trying to agitate the public, that's when they try to use images or pictures of Black people, or they try to fearmonger and tell Black American people something really bad and racist is going to happen. I'm telling you guys, they are rage baiting and they are race baiting. Not Chad said that sounds like a bit of a stretch unless something changes. No, they didn't say change. The guy literally said unless someone does something to stop Trump. If you say changes, unless something changes, I'm okay with that. If that's what you feel. I don't agree with it, but I'm cool with you saying it. You can have a thought. Inciting violence, not okay. Fear mongering, not okay. Kyle says, OMG, thank you so much for saying this. We all need to stay strong and see through their BS. We do. And, hey, James, and hi, Kyle. Not only that, we have to stay on code. America, I need y'all to put some red, white, and blue in the chat because I'm not feeling the love. I need American flags or red, white, and blue hearts. Okay? First of all, we got to stay on code. We have been trying to play America as two separate Americas, and we can't do it. Us moving like two separate Americas is exactly why we have been invaded by foreign entities and why they have taken over an entire political party. And now we are fighting for our lives as American citizens. Like, I hate to be the one to let you know if you're one of the people who's still hanging on to the black white agenda. Like, baby, that is late. It is played out. It is over. It's out of style. At this point, it's Americans versus non-Americans, and you got to catch up. Not Chad said, yes, what you just said is still not inciting violence. Okay, cool. If you think so, but I think it is. Thank you, Believe True. Thank you, Marcella. Welcome, guys. Thank you, Kim Smith. Kim Smith? Is that Smith? Simth? Kim Simth? Okay. All right, Leslie, that's cool. You don't have to like the politics, but we do have to love each other and support each other and protect each other because this is serious. These people, yes, Bianca, please remind them, y'all, please misspell your curse words because y'all know YouTube don't play. I'm not going to be doing any cursing, but, you know, I don't mind. This isn't Sunday school. Just misspell it. Eli Muhammad says, we have been two separate Americas since they came, and you know who they are. Well, here's the problem, Eli Muhammad. We have been two separate Americas, and look where it's gotten us. We got a lot of progress and a lot of elevation, but now it has gotten us invaded. And now we're having to defend our home from within. So we can no longer do that. Like that's the definition of insanity. When you've done something and you see that it didn't work out or it had an adverse effect and you keep doing it, we can no longer afford to do it. Hi, Annie Wright. It's not acknowledging something or saying your opinion of something. It's the images. It's the talking points. I'm going to play some of these videos because I want y'all to see the type of conversations that are being had. Hey, just another opinion said, yep, to America's reality and whatever you're living in. Okay, well, let's get you out, babe. Because I'm here to talk to Americans. I'm not here to talk to people. See, Annie is asking a legit question. You're just being contrarian. Thank you, Believe Truth. Cussing is not necessary, but I don't want to control people. Okay, so if someone wants to express themselves and they say a curse word, I'm not going to lose my mind and pass out. Like, I'm Baptist, but I'm not that Baptist. The only thing I ask is that you misspell your curse words. Right, Leslie. Well, Eli Muhammad, we're being invaded by foreigners who are not Americans, who have no intention on assimilating into American society. Instead, they bring their root culture and they come in to change the homogenous culture of America. And that is a problem. That's a problem. Well, I mean, I'm not interested. I'm interested in people who are trying to manipulate American citizens. I'm interested in the fact that, thank you, James, WT, welcome. And I'm also interested in pointing out that people are trying to manipulate Black American citizens to maintain these two separate Americas. And I'm going to talk against it every time. Every single time. Run, dog, give us opinions, not questions. I don't have time to answer everybody. Hi, Sabracita. Okay, Annie Wright has an opinion, guys. Annie says, if any other president decided to send the military into the states, would you be acknowledging the dangers of that choice? I don't see any danger. because American citizens are not being aggressed. They're not. And whether you are aware or not, the president does have the right. He's in charge of the military. He's literally the commander in chief. And he is in charge of defense. So if we're being invaded, what would you have him do? Send like a squad of teenage girls armed with pillows dressed for a sleepover? Like, what would you like him to do? What would you like? Hey, Kathy Travis, we're talking about the fear mongering going on in the news right now with the pretended fear that somehow we're going to go back to Jim Crow America, and it's not going to happen. Well, not Chad. Whatever we are, we don't want it changed by people who are not from here. Shout out to you, James. Hey, Mick Swagger. Say, don't come to America being judgmental of Americans, but expect the benefits that we have the right to. That's true. And that's what's happening. And Democrats are fighting tooth and nail. And they're using every tactic possible to manipulate people to fight for immigrants. It is a no. It's a wash. We're not doing it. JG says we need in America where skin color doesn't determine your decision, yet people are manipulated to do so. That's true. And I agree. No danger in troops in cities unless you're doing wrong. Right. I mean, Annie thinks it's laughable to think that citizens are not in danger. I don't think we are. I don't feel in danger. Do you? Hey, Marcia. Thank you. Welcome. DJ Callie says the oppressor forced his God and his language on you, and after that, the oppressor convinced you that he was your king. I have no king but Jesus. I have no idea what you're talking about. Because Christ is king. And I hope you know that. Okay. Hey, T-Bone. Yep, y'all just misspell your curse words. That's all I ask, okay? Okay, well, let's get you out of here. If you're that angry because I love Jesus, then maybe this isn't your channel. Because on this channel, we love the Lord, we love our country, we love our families. And look at, okay, perfect example. Look in the chat. Everybody who thinks that I'm just, seeing this and it's not happening. Look in the chat. Before I delete this person, this rough and a bunch of numbers, they will go after people like you next. These are the talking points of the Democratic Party right now. These are the talking points of desperate people. They are so desperate to get Black Americans to maintain their two Americas agenda that's what they're doing. That somehow President Trump is going to whip up an army and say, every Black American person, just go get them and round them up. It's not going to happen. And they're doing that because we have sat down, a lot of us, and realized that this is one country. We're not going out to protest ICE. We're not going to help immigrants. Not immigrants. I hate that term. We're not going to help illegal aliens break the law to stay in our country and continue to put a strain on the system. We're not. We're not going to go and agitate for, the Rainbow Coalition to be able to put grown men in little girls' bathrooms. Like, we're not going to do it. Not going to happen. And you're not going to use our emotional labor, our physical labor to further your agendas. You can keep your fear to yourself. We're no longer interested. JG says community policing, where cops actually walked in the streets and neighborhoods, saw a reduction, but they patrolled neighborhoods that had crime. And when that stopped, the crime went up. I believe it. Yep. Mick says, imagine fighting for a cause that take from your well-being. It's only so much juice and lemon. That's true. Hey, Saved by Grace. That's right. Jesus is king. Hey, Love, Hope, Faith. Kristen says, I think as long as everyone is being respectful and following the laws of our country, we're good. We are. But the problem, Kristen, is that they have shown us that they have no intention of doing so. Instead, they've shown us that their intention is to infiltrate various levels of our government and create an environment where they are benefiting their home countries and bringing their their values from their homes to America. And a lot of their values in these places where they come from are anti-American. And that's what we're seeing. Mm-hmm. Okay, James says, I feel in danger because I live in a blue run city. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I am a conservative, and my hometown Boulder is running rampant with fentanyl, meth, and etc. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Right, onions? People like you. You know, this is so crazy because they don't realize, liberals and Democrats, that is, they do not realize that those comments, though people like you, they don't even realize how inherently racist that is. It's like literally their talking point is saying that in their mind, a black American is somehow less American. And they don't even get it. They're so busy trying to incite black American people to be anti-American because you're less American than any other American. Even people who just got here last week. And they don't see how racist that is. They don't. They just don't see it. They do not see how racist that is. Look at this one. Here's another one. I feel sorry for your mama. Let's block you. I'm telling y'all, to be a Democrat is to be a racist and to be anti-black. Okay, so this one, let's get you out of here. Thank you, James. Hey, Queena. I actually don't watch Fox, not Chad. So give us your opinion about what's going on in the world and stop making attempts to insult me, especially when you're that far off. I don't watch Fox. I haven't watched Fox like hell ever. There may have been, let me think, because I am getting old. Did I ever watch Fox? They may have had something some years back, but I don't watch Fox, dear. Thank you, Juana. Hi, Rusty girl. But yeah, that's why I said, anytime we go live, y'all be aware there's going to be some Dems in the chat. They're really racist, really gross. So my mods will block them as soon as we can. Outlaw Josie Wales. I love your name. That was one of my favorite Clint Eastwood movies. I was so happy to walk downtown DC last night. Was it safe? Was it? Hey, T-Bone. Thank you. Welcome. Unknown Adventurer says Republican registration up 30%, Democratic registration down 20%. It should be. It should be. Not Chad says Trump and his administration have no interest in following the law. That's an opinion. Yeah, boy, Habibi. Hi. What about Minneapolis? What's happening in Minneapolis? Okay, Outlaw Josie Wells says the Venezuelan gangs are very heavy in Colorado. Wow. Thomas Knapp, I'm originally from Ocala. Where are you from in Florida? Love Floridians. I love my home. No, Marcos, I don't speak Portuguese because this is America. We don't have to speak Portuguese. Mm-hmm. Robert, I hope people pray for me too. I hope people also pray for you. We should all pray. God is awesome. James says, true, that comment was racist. I work in education. It's called implicit bias. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But when you call it out, then it's, oh, wait, that's not what it is. Why are you saying that? It's a stretch. It's a reach. No, it's accurate. And you're upset because we're catching on to your nonsense. We're catching on. Mm-hmm. Morgan Knapp says Morgan Freeman said, quit talking about it. I don't agree with that. I think we can have conversations. I just think that y'all be nice in my chat. I don't want any arguing. We can talk about the topics, but no personal attacks on anybody. Okay? So y'all be nice. You can share your opinions, but don't say mean things to each other, please. Thank you. John Butts. Well, hopefully we all love each other, John. The Lord tasked us to love each other and to love your neighbor as yourself. So hopefully we all can find a way to love each other because that's what God asked us to do. Thank you, B54, B549er. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, y'all be nice, please. Well, here's the problem, Thomas Knapp. There's a difference in somebody moving here and being an actual American. You just moving here illegally wouldn't make you one. If you follow the law and you become naturalized, then you are an American. But if you didn't, then you're not. You're an invader. Mm-hmm. Harry says America was built on Christian values and we're going to remain that way. Bring prayer back into schools and the pledge of, wait, do you mean allegiance? Because you put the prayer pledge of the Legion. Okay, I don't know what that is, but I hope you mean the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, James, thanks. So I like you. I subbed. And I ran for city council back in 2017. Lord willing, I want to become a senator for Colorado. Well, you know what? I pray that God will give you the desires of your heart because we need more actual Americans in politics and not these people from other countries or first generation immigrants who are still being raised by their parents with core beliefs from other places because that's what's causing the problem. Robert, I hope they pray for all of us a whole lot, and you included. Not Chad says you're using Fox talking points. Well, my darling, I don't watch Fox, but if someone on Fox thinks like me, then God bless them. God bless them. Outlaw Josie Wells says she's not using Fox talking points. Fox is using her talking points. Yeah, because I don't watch them. Maybe they watch me. Bean Polanski says, so do you ever talk about facts or actual things that are going on here, or are you just here to pump up Trump? I'm here to talk about agendas against American citizens. I don't pump up anybody. You haven't heard me doing a Trump pep rally in here. Why are you here if you're angry about black Americans and white Americans acknowledging the fact that we're all just Americans? If that upsets you, why are you here, Bean? Don't upset yourself. Troy, you from Bushnell? Oh my gosh. I know a lot of people in Bushnell. Welcome. Hey, Janice. Thank you. Okay. Not Chad says, how many times have courts overruled his executive orders? So what does that mean? That's how America works. We have courts, we have judges. Sometimes judges do the right thing, sometimes judges do the wrong thing. Okay, Robert's got to go. I don't know why Robert is upset, but we're going to help him because he's engaging in self-hurt right now. Sterling, what does AI data centers have to do with anything? Help me out. Bean, my name is not Sweetie, and I don't have any Epstein files. If I had them, I'd give them to you. But refrain from calling me Sweetie. It's giving you're a Democrat because you're very disrespectful and you're bordering on insult and you're going to get yourself blocked. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are weird asking me for Epstein files. Why do you think I have them? I mean, I know I'm a grandma, but and we do hoard everything. We normally have a shoebox with every receipt in the world in it, but I don't have that. There's no point in asking me for it. Bean says that President Trump doesn't pray. I don't know that. I don't know whether he does or doesn't. I don't live with him. I'm not sure what his prayer life or his personal relationship with the Lord has to do with me, but God bless you. Hi, Scotty the Hottie. I like your name. Welcome. Yeah, Bean is very interested in President Trump's relationship with the Lord. All I can say is, please go and witness to him. If you think that he's unsaved and he has not accepted Christ as his personal savior, go and witness to him. Extend the invitation for salvation. Go do that if you're actually a Christian. If you're not a Christian, I don't know why you would be involved. But if you are a Christian, go and extend the invitation for him to join Christ. Chad says it's because he's operating outside of the law. He wouldn't be getting stopped by conservative judges if he was operating lawfully. That's not necessarily true either. Law is always open to interpretation. That's what makes the law so interesting. Bean Polanski, the fact that your last name is Polanski and you're using the word woke is a problem. Go and look up that term in popular culture, find out where it started, and then, try not to feel too embarrassed when you realize that you shouldn't have been saying it in the first place. Hi, Kelly Doris. Hey, SB. Well, Dave's 143. I don't know that I agree with that either, but, God bless you. Shane Landingham. I've definitely heard of the Pledge of Allegiance. I was making a joke with a nice person who said the pledge, the Legion of Republic. And I didn't know who Legion was, because in the Bible, Legion was not a great situation. Not Chad, prayer in school does violate the Constitution. That's true. Okay, Unknown Adventurer says, woke is the ideology of going against what is right just because you don't like someone, also known as TDS. Well, actually, no, that is not what woke is. That is what the Democratic Party co-opted the term and used it to represent. Okay? The term woke actually was started by the Black Conscious Movement, and it didn't mean that at all. But in an effort to manipulate Black Americans, they co-opted the term, and that's what they use it for. But that's not what that term meant at all. That's why I think it's just really horrible. It used to mean something very beautiful. And Democrats, in their continual, incessant attempts to race bait and manipulate Black American people, they co-opted a beautiful term and made it something very ignorant and disgusting. So now we hear a lot of people who have no business even using the term, bandying it about like a washwoman's underwear. It's very trashy. Right, Harry. Tell him again. I'm just giving him time before the ladies block him. No, Outlaw Josie Wells. We're Americans, so America first. We're not interested in making Israel great. Israel should hold their own and stop living on American welfare. Is what Israel should do. And the fact that we have people in Congress with dual citizenship, I personally feel like that is a conflict of interest. I don't think anyone with dual citizenship should be able to hold public office, not even a local dog catcher position. Right, your boy Habibi. I like your name and I like you. That's why when he said that, I was like, yeah, I don't agree with that. Well, Juana, it would be great if the Bible could be in school, but it's supposed to be a separation of church and state. And it could get very dangerous, because what happens if a bad person ends up there as an educator and then they're teaching the Bible and they're perverting something or telling the wrong thing? And then you want people to choose God. You don't want to force it on them or try to indoctrinate them. The indoctrination is bad. That's what Democrats are doing right now. They're indoctrinating people. Bobby says he's first generation on his mom and dad's side. Okay. Hey, Steve. Welcome, guys. So let's take a look at a couple of things. I'm going to see if I can get it to go. James says his grandpa was from Canada. Mm-hmm. Outlaw Josie Wells is funny. I don't know if y'all are reading his comments. I love it. And he's a retired U.S. Marshal. I love it. Yeah, we have excellent moderators, and they are zapping the trolls. Mm-hmm. Tony, the can opener, says if you need the Bible to be good, there's something wrong with you. Well, that Bible is for more than being good. It's for your salvation. And if you don't know him, I hope you get to know him because he loves you. Hey, Teresa. Oh, 386. Okay. Listen, I'm so excited. There's a lot of Floridians in the chat. I'm always happy to see Florida. That is my home. It's my heart. Love my state. Y'all, James is funny. He said he couldn't find any Epstein files in his kitchen either. See? I keep telling them we don't have them. They think we have them and we don't have the files. Hold on. I had to zoom to the bottom because I was trying to see all of 305. We got some Dade County natives here. Maxine Randall says, I hope she does not answer that because who knows what that person will do to make her target. She doesn't have to be before Trump or against Trump. Yeah, I'm not for or against anybody but Americans. Okay? And the Lord. Always put God first. Okay. I hope that helps. So hold on. Right, Jonathan Hahn. We don't want crusades all over again because that is not what the Lord told us to do. The Great Commission was very clear. Go ye therefore into all the world teaching the gospel. Teach the gospel. Not force it down anybody's throat. We're supposed to lift them up and give them the opportunity to accept or reject. And hopefully they do. But if you don't, I don't want you to feel like, we hate you, we love you. We actually love you. And we're offering you Christ because we do love you. So I'm going to flip this screen. I want y'all to see some of these unhinged people. I want y'all to see what's really going on, okay? It's a little wild. I'm going to just warn y'all ahead of time.
Segregation cases that have been in place for... Come to the front because you need to hear this. The Justice Department has just ended 2 desegregation cases that have been in place for over 50 years, and we need to talk about them right now. There are districts in Florida and in Mississippi that were once legally segregated that now have been released from any federal oversight. Back in the 1970s, our federal government had to step into these districts because they were still running segregated school. A school for white children and a school for black children. And those cases stayed open for over 50 years to ensure that those school districts desegregated their schools. But as of early August, our Department of Justice has told Hendry County in Florida and Copiah County in Mississippi that they no longer need any oversight.
I'm trying to pause this.
On the surface level, this looks great. Oh, well, these 2 counties no longer need federal oversight because they must be doing such a good job. Well, the truth is these schools today look more segregated than they did in the 1980s. And now that federal oversight has been dropped from these 2 counties, these 2 counties are going to be able to do absolutely whatever they want. And
okay, I can't take too much more of her voice, and I didn't know how to pause that. But let's talk about what we heard her say. Let's talk about it, right? Her first thing that she did was go back into the past, talk about, when they were segregated and it was black schools and white schools. Why is it the minute it's time to stir everybody up. Now they want to drag black Americans into it. Now they want to drag black Americans into it. This is not our fight. These people and their agitation, and it's usually people, that look a lot like this lady. I'm sure she's a nice lady. Other than that, um, wow. I'm struggling to say something nice. But they absolutely never, and I repeat, never bring up black people in these conversations until it's time to get everybody riled up. Oh, you remember what happened and they was segregated. It was a black school and a white school. And, and they must be doing everything right. And they're removing the oversight in Hendry County and in Copiah County in Mississippi. What's actually funny is I'm a native Floridian. And right now I am literally in Mississippi because my husband has a job in Mississippi. What oversight is necessary? Nothing is happening. These people would have you believe that we need to be worried about every freaking thing under the sun other than what's going on. What's going on, the threat to, if we're going to break down different communities by demographic, what's at risk in communities with people who overwhelmingly look like me? The biggest threat is immigration. The biggest threat is the Democratic Party and Democratic policy. That's the biggest threat. So why on earth are we talking about segregation and us needing oversight? What are we talking about? And the minute we want to get everybody riled up, oh, see, it was segregation in black people and white people. I'm not baby LL Rodriguez. I mean, I'm sure you, Mr. Rodriguez, assume you know about people who look like me more than me. Apparently, guys, I just turned this color this week. It was just this week that I turned this color. I haven't been this color my whole life. Again, y'all, mods, anybody you see asking me or telling me about Epstein, just delete them. Because I keep telling y'all, I don't have the Epstein files. If I had them, I would read them to you like a storybook. I don't have them. Leave me alone. If you see them talking about Epstein, get them out of here. Because at this point, I don't know whether it's willful ignorance or low IQ or they're struggling with something internally. I don't have them. Now, just delete them because they're getting on my nerves. Okay? Thank you, B, because she was working on my nerves. And thank you for trying to be a little peaceful with them because, I try to give patience to people, but they're crazy. And this one here talking about cults. If America's a cult, then we all live in it. If you think America's a cult, then leave. I mean, there's nobody at the door keeping you here. Just go. Hostile Shroom says those cases stay open so that the locals can't try to segregate the public schools because it would be a violation of Title 9 protections. Okay. Hostile Shroom, who told you the locals want to segregate the schools? Just asking. Who told you that? Hi, Lucy. Who said it? No, Juana. My husband works in IT. He's a regional manager for an IT firm. And he's my husband, not my man. I don't think I've said my man since I was a young girl. But that was cute. Port Bear says, what's the bad thing about segregation, freedom of association? Well, that's a nuanced conversation. Maybe we can do it another day. If y'all wanted to do a call in, I would take calls. But y'all know what? The other day we did a call in, and a lot of people who had a lot to say in the chat didn't even come over to the call in. Now, if y'all want to do a call in today, I'm happy to switch over to StreamYard and we can do a call in. Like, I would totally be with it, honestly. Thanks, Lucy. No, weed smoker. Jesus is king, but Trump's the president. And we're okay with him. It's okay, Matthew Holmes. All is forgiven. Just, let's be respectful. Right. American Lives Matter, y'all. American Lives Matter made a good point before we pull up the next video, okay? We got to believe in America, not the politicians anyway. And that's the point. Jen Newman says segregation is BS. Again, I think it's a nuanced conversation. Juana, I don't have Epstein files. I'm not going to block you right away. I'm going to give you another shot to, rewire yourself. This Eddie person, get him out of here. There are no flags in my chat unless it's an American flag. Because if your flag is so wonderful, you'd be there. And Minimus, you just earned yourself a block. We do not blaspheme or disrespect God in my chat. Bye. Okay, the life inside. Hi and welcome. They say, do you think the Dems in Cali is considered segregation? I don't know what you mean by that question, but that's for everybody in the chat, so y'all chime in. Yes, Jonathan Hahn, if you say something rude here, you will get blocked, and just like you're getting blocked. Do not question my authority on my platform. See, that's what's wrong with immigrants, is giving you an immigrant. Because here's the truth. When you come to anywhere, if it's someone's home, it's their rules. If it's my platform, it's my rules. If you come to America, this is our country, our rules. You see how that works? And that's how things are ordered. Oh, you mean the gerrymandering? I don't know. What's your opinion? We're here for opinions, not to interview the host. Hey, Michelle Boatwright. I know some Boatwrights in Ocala, Florida. Okay, Michelle says, coming from a biracial family, why are we still spreading hate? I am genuinely trying to make sure my grandkids share space with everyone, period. So who do you think is spreading hate? I'm not sure what that has to do with this conversation, but who's spreading hate? Right, Pamela. Christ is king. Thanks, Don. Welcome. Thank you, Magpie. She's got the cross and the flag, and I love it. Yovita Nugera. She says, is Trump for the Americans? He seems to be listening to the Americans who voted for him. What do you think? Michelle Boatwright says, we're all immigrants. My darling, that is a lie. That is a patent lie. We're not all immigrants. Just so you know. Yes, Big Duke, I will make sure to block everything I don't like, including you. Yeah. It's kind of how that works. Right, Terry? As long as they come legally, it's okay. Not asking my age. Do you not know you don't ask women of a certain age how old they are? Are you okay? Are you good? Hey, Destiny Shift. So, let me tell you the topic. So, we're talking about the fear-mongering that liberals and Democrats are doing in an attempt to manipulate Black Americans to go and protest, to rally, to riot, to help them further their agendas. So, the newest thing on the chopping block is, segregation is coming back. Segregation is going to get you. They've tried everything. With the situation in D.C., they tried to say, they're only targeting Black American males, when a lot of the people and most of the people that were picked up were not even citizens. We do have what's known as a tether class, which is a lot of immigrants who have darkly melanated skin, and they closely resemble Black Americans, so they pretend to be us in the media, in politics, and even in film and entertainment in an effort to, number one, hijack our image, and two, fund and power the Democratic Party. So that in order for them to keep power, they need black American people who are authentically American to help them agitate. And so they're trying to manipulate with fear tactics, and we're not falling for it. Jen Newman says there's a lot of hate in America right now that comes from the Trump and his administration and many supporters. Well, Jen Newman, what's interesting is it's a lot of love here too. And most of the people who insult and call me names and use racial slurs against me are not Republican at all. They're usually Democrats, actually, right here on this channel. And I talk just like I'm talking today. I don't raise my voice. I don't curse at anybody. I don't insult folks. And almost every time I'm insulted or I'm name called or a racial slur is used, it's by a Democrat, not by Trump supporters. Most of the Trump supporters in my chat, even when they don't agree with me on something, they tell me what they don't agree about. They might say something like, oh, Trump is king, but they're never insulting me. I've never honestly been called a racial slur by a Trump supporter. And I'm an independent, by the way. But I've never been called a racial slur by a Trump supporter. But I have absolutely been insulted and called every name in the book by Democrats and liberals. And that's just the truth. ASWQ, whatever. Okay, well, I listen to everybody, and if you make a point that I agree with, I agree with it. I'm not going to pretend to not agree with someone just because I don't subscribe to their party politics. Either you're right or you're wrong. Right, Charles Brown. I'm not an immigrant, but those again are Democrat talking points because we don't want illegal aliens in our country bringing crime, bringing their third world values. Then now everybody has to be an immigrant when everybody is not. Right, Mac. Democrats have always wanted everybody on plantations, and they're fighting tooth and nail because people are mentally leaving the Democrat plantation. They still have some people who are, drinking the Kool-Aid by the gallon, but they see that by and large, a lot of the people they have manipulated and fooled for years are walking away. Thanks, Michael M. People are walking away. Michelle Boatwright says, I'm not personally a migrant, but my grandparents were. Okay, well, obviously they came here legally and we're glad to have them. But my grandparents, nor their grandparents, nor their grandparents, or theirs were immigrants. So everybody's not an immigrant. But shout out to you. Hey, Pastor I. No problem, Destiny. Sandy Hardy says, I thought it wasn't about the color of your skin, it was about the content of your character. Who told you that? The man who said that is gone. Likely with his life taken by the same people who are trying to manipulate dark-complected Americans right now. Thank you, Yovita. Yep, I'm a granny. Proud granny. My son got married and brought me a big old fat baby. And they're expecting another big old fat baby. Thanks, Chris Brink. Love you back. Hi, Murphy. Welcome. Marcella said, and Negroes called me tar baby. I'm telling you, the people who have called me the most names are people who claim to be Democrats or liberals. I have never been aggressed by someone who said they were Republican. Art of mine, you're independent too. That's what I like. Yeah, we have to be honest about things, and I don't mind. It's okay, Jen. I'm not sensitive. I was raised in Florida, so if you know anything about Florida, we're not sensitive people. You can't be in Florida. But this is the thing. Thank you, Dawn. The thing for me is that we have to have conversations where people get uncomfortable. We have to have conversations about what is really happening. I don't believe in putting my head in a box and like, oh, no, nothing racist ever happens. It does. That would be a lie to say that it didn't. It happens. It does. And that's something that we have to iron out as, thank you, Mac. That's something we have to iron out as Americans between ourselves and not with inside influence, because insiders will never foment peace. They're never going to push for peace. They're never going to push for any type of understanding, reciprocity, or resolution. They're only going to push divide because they only benefit when there's a divide. That's why I don't mind the conversations. I'm cool with a lot of things. Don, who's disagreeing with facts? You have to like give me complete statements because a lot of times when I get to y'all's comments, it's been a while, so I don't even know what you're talking about. So give me a complete statement. Right, Lucy? We love the Lord around here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whoever says Mexico is not a third world country, well, whoever, are you implying that Mexico is the only country who has illegal aliens here? Are you saying that Mexico is the only country? You do realize that that's kind of racist a little, right? Mexicans are not the only people who are breaking immigration laws. There are people from all over the world who come here and break immigration laws. People from the Middle East, from Asia, from Europe, from South America, Central America. Why on earth would you say that, just single out Mexico like that? See, that is the problem. That is that Democrat thinking. Third world values, Jen Newman. Mind you, you're supposed to be giving me comments and not asking questions. But I'll answer that quickly. Third world values are values that are based on scarcity and lack. The thought process and mindset of people who come from extreme scarcity and lack are third world values. And we cannot have those things here. Not to mention, anti-American sentiment is absolutely a third world value. And we're seeing it. What is the name of that blue jean company? They did an ad with a lady saying she had good jeans, and y'all knew it was a play on words. And it turned into Armageddon. Oh, this is somehow racist or, whatever. And it's like, are y'all good? Blue jeans, good jeans, a play on words. The only thing that ad looked was American as hell. And it actually had, in my opinion, like a retro vibe. It kind of gave 80s. Nothing about that said racism, but literally that has become the brand globally. Anything that has to do with America, you automatically call it racist, and they automatically feel like Black Americans are the mascot for whatever's happening. Anytime you want to fight or resist America, we need Black Americans to be the mascot so we can use your image to fight your own government and your own country. All I'm saying is a lot of us are up to it, are onto it, and we're over it. We're onto it and we're over it. Right, Adrienne Marie. Democrat numbers are dropping through the floorboards. I absolutely love it too. Because I'm tired of them. They're so manipulative. They are the most racist, divisive, evil, demonic people I have ever met in my life. In my entire life. And they do so by trying to manipulate pain and trauma that belong to a group of people that almost none of them belong to. And if y'all think I'm joking, before I play this next video, I want y'all to see something else, okay? 1, go and check the lineage of those people who look like me or close to my complexion, because they don't look like me. But those people who are close to my complexion in the Democrat Party, and I guarantee you, you will be shocked at how many of them are not American. I'm just saying, just go look them up. Just go look them up, and you're going to be surprised at how many of those people with complexions that are similar to mine who are not American at all. I'm just saying, just go check. Ooh, Margaret. Oh my God. Y'all, Margaret said, I've been Republican voting, but I'm definitely, I guess maybe autocorrect got her, but registered Democrat so I can vote down what I what I don't care how Democrat minded people treat other races down, instead raising them up to be equal. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. So you vote Republican, but you register Democrat so you can vote against the things that they're trying to do. Thanks, Pamela. I'm sure you are too. Lord have mercy. Some people I just don't know. This one says no filter, just facts, and then spewed nonsense. Why on earth would I be into colorism? What did I say that gave you the impression that I was into colorism? Colorism is the little sister of racism. Why on earth would I be into that? That's a Democrat. That's a Democrat. I guarantee it. I want y'all to just kind of see what's going on. Here's another good one, y'all. Right, Emmanuel. A lot of them are Somali. A lot of them are Caribbean. A lot of them are African. But these people are not Americans. They're not Americans. Hey, Maurice. That's right. Democrats are a problem. Big problem. Okay. Heather Blessing Game says they are mad that you don't consider all dark people in America as the same. Yep, that's there you go. They want us to feel like anybody with dark skin, we're on some team, this magical, invisible, imaginary team that no matter how much they destroy the country or break the law, we're supposed to support them because their complexion having proximity to mine is supposed to take precedence over us being American citizens. It's a bit crazy. It's a little crazy. Right, Jason Haynes. It is a form of racism. Y'all are so informed and I love it. So let me let y'all see this one. This lady, she seems like she's unhinged too, but I want y'all to see the talking points of these people, okay?
Shocking news, Donald Trump has just effectively legalized segregation for federal contractors by signing an executive order to remove a civil rights era ban on segregated areas like drinking fountains, transportation, and housing. Even though the Civil Rights Act still makes segregation technically illegal, the federal government is ultimately responsible for its enforcement and investigation into any violations.
Pause. Let me address this person before they get blocked. So this idiot, and now I am gonna name call. This idiot just said, "Girl, I'm nobody's girl. I haven't been a girl for a very long time." Called me girl, and then said, "You just said something about your complexion, as though I can't mention my complexion, as if you're far better than a darker person." Nobody said anything about being better than anybody. I literally said people who have a complexion that looks like mine or similar to mine, but they don't look like me. That's what I said. I said nothing about dark or light. I keep telling you guys, Democrats are the most racist people you will ever meet. Democrats are the most racist people you will ever meet. Always remember, it was Democrats that wanted people on the plantation. Never forget that. Right, transmutation station. I never said it. Yes, in MAG, they twist words because they need racism to survive. They need it. They need it. They push it. They cultivate it. They cause harm with it. And then they use the harm to manipulate the people they harmed. That's what they do. That's what they do. Right, Jason, super low IQ. And I'm not falling for it. I'm going to tell you something else. And I don't really care how this one sounds. A lot of these Africans that are cosplaying as Black Americans because it's cosplay. We're not the same people. They come in, they take political office, they vote on behalf of every Democratic agenda because it benefits the massive amounts of money that are shipped over to those foreign countries that never seem to develop. We've been financing them for years and they never seem to develop. They never seem to develop. Ever. And it's bad. Sierra says, yep, I left the Democratic Party when I found out how racist they are. They are extremely racist. Super racist. I would never vote Democrat. Hey, Michelle Silman. Not at all what this lady said, no filter. We have been right here the whole time. Thank you, girl. Because you know they'll lie on me. Like, because I'm black, Democrats are so racist. They feel like they own black people. They own black people's minds. You can only think what they tell you to think. You can only say what they tell you to say. And if you deviate, then they start name calling. They'll lie on you. They will do character assassinations. They will do all kind of bad things. So thanks, guys, for talking up. Ben Neal said, and when Democrats wanted to remove Confederate statues, who was stopping them? You think statues are a part of this conversation? Says a lot. Hey, Siobhan. It's just crazy. Janelle, I know history very well. I actually study. I don't just listen to Joy Reid and repeat stuff. You know. Right, Ellen Frank. Thank you. Forgive me, my eyes are not as sharp as they used to be. Okay. I sound low. Y'all can't hear me? Patty cakes. Is that what they're doing? Because she says they're trained to deflect truth with identity trauma. I agree. Okay, we got a foreigner in my chat. This is not a Defend Africa live stream, and we're not doing it. Baby says, and you are saying Republicans are not racist. No, I said that I've never been called a racist name by a Republican, but I've definitely been called them by Democrats in this very live stream. My moderators have been on a blocking spree. And this is every time I go live. I get a lot of liberals and Democrats who call me every name in the book, racial slurs, insult me and everything. And I haven't experienced that from Republicans, even though I'm a whole independent and a black person. I'm a black American person. You would think if all Republicans were these foaming at the mouth racists that you say they are, I shouldn't be safe. I should have been called every name in the book. Thank you, Transmutation Station. Right. Ellen Frank says, yes, Latino Republican here, libs assume I'm in their camp. They do. And when they realize that you think for yourself and you don't allow people to tell you what to think, they start calling you names, as many as they can think of. Right, Sassy Mo, no side other than your own and the Lord. Oh wow, Jason Haynes, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate the support. It's my first support of the whole day. Thank you. Ooh, Transmutation Station, thank you for the super sticker. My second support of the whole day. Brian Gunter, welcome. Please subscribe so you can come back. Oh wow. Heather Blessing Game said, you are awesome and I love you. I love how you handle these individuals who speak nonsense. I'm a proud new supporter. Thank you so much. My third support of the day. Y'all, memberships are also available so we can start to do more call-ins, because I do want to do call-ins because I want to be able to hear from you guys. The last time we did our live, we switched over to do the call-in. A few people came over, but everybody didn't. And I really want people to be able to call in and give me your thoughts. So at any point, if you guys want to switch to a call-in, let me know in the chat and I'll set up a StreamYard so y'all can call in and give us your opinions. Last time I suffered. Oh, I suffered. A very emotional Democrat called in, and it was so bad. It was so bad, y'all. But I took it. I took one for the team. So, we do have that ability. And people who are members, I want you guys to definitely be aware that you have also membership privileges of naming topics for live streams that you want to do, naming call-ins that you want to do, and like picking topics. And you can even host topics if you want to as a member. So membership is available. You can be one of our good patriots or freedom fighters, feel free, or Eagles. You can join up, okay? Sassy says, we New Yorkers had a front row seat to the Trump Klan. New York was his first grift. You are just getting to know him. I watched him and his family grow up. I believe you. I believe you. I don't deify any humans. Michelle says, you proved to me how tolerant and patient you are, Miss Lady. You really impressed me. Thank you, Michelle. I try, but I had to come off the video for that one calling me a girl and lying on me. It was like, while I wish I looked like a girl, I think we can all agree that my grays tell on me, and the fact that I don't, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, though I wish I was. Okay. Don Mitch says, Trump is done 100 times better than any other president in my lifetime, and I'm 59. I can agree with that too, to a large extent, because he's actually apparently appears to be trying to do what people ask him to do, which is something we've never really seen, not in real time, to be honest. Eric said we're all young at heart. I don't know. My heart is starting to catch up to it. Oh, Ron V, welcome. Please subscribe so you can come back. Mark R, you being funny. Mark says baby oil is the official sponsor of the Democrat Party. Thank you. Ticked off Patriot. I like your name. Okay. All right. So let's go back to this. Harry, I agree. I don't like Joy Reid at all. I don't. I really can barely stomach her. She's not my kind of lady. Okay. Who flipped the truth, Jen? I'm not going to lie on anybody. Are you saying I lied on somebody? Who lied on somebody? Did I lie on somebody, y'all? I don't think I said anything about anybody. Who did I lie on? Is she talking to me? Oh, not me. Okay, I was so confused. I'm like, what did I do? Okay.
We have some shocking news. Donald Trump has just effectively legalized segregation for federal contractors by signing an executive order to move a civil rights era ban on segregated areas like drinking fountains, transportation, and housing. Even though the Civil Rights Act still makes segregation technically illegal, the federal government is ultimately responsible for its enforcement and investigation into any violations, and Trump signing this order is a clear message that the government will not step in. A spokesperson for the General Services Administration was quoted referring to the prior ban on segregation as a, quote, damaging policy of the past administration. Several federal...
I'm going to pause her briefly, because how is this a clear indication that the federal government won't step in? Do y'all see how they twist words and use words? So she starts off by admitting, I'm going to run it back, don't worry. She starts off by admitting that segregation is still illegal. So if you're admitting that segregation is illegal, how do you then, a half a breath later, say, well, this is a clear indication that the federal government isn't step? It's not a clear indication of anything other than y'all thought you had a gotcha moment and an opportunity to fearmonger with, let's just be honest, black American citizens. That's who you're trying to get. And they're trying to do it because we didn't get up and run to the streets and tear our shirts and beat our breasts and roll on the ground over deportation. And we won't do it about anything happening with the LGBTQ. So this time it's like, okay, well, we're going to say, see, this is what's going on, and it's Trump, and this is a clear indication. It's not a clear indication of anything, but let's run it back and let's listen to more of the nonsense that's being spewed, y'all.
Is advising employees not to consider the prior segregation ban going forward. We have some shocking news. Donald Trump has just effectively legalized segregation for federal contractors by signing an executive order to remove a civil rights era ban on segregated areas like drinking fountains, transportation.
Y'all, we got a dim in the chat, fear mongering, talking about you probably should because you're next. I'm not next. I was first, dear. Okay? Ben, just a bit of a warning. We're not Democrats over here. The whole name of the channel is Black Not Blue. You may be in the wrong place, okay? Just FYI.
Services Administration was quoted referring to the prior ban on segregation as a, quote, damaging policy of the past administration. Several federal agencies have already begun recognizing these changes, including the Department of Homeland Security and the National Institute of Health, both of which have issued notices advising employees not to consider the prior segregation ban going forward. We have some shocking news. Donald Trump has just effectively legalized
so y'all see, that's just her on a loop. But y'all see the talking points that are coming out. And I want y'all to also pay attention. A lot of these people, again, like I said earlier when I got lied on, that are presenting as Black American, they're not. These are a lot of these people are Caribbean people. A lot of these people are African people who are in America, sometimes first generation, and they've learned to mimic our speech patterns so that they can appear to be us, so that they can use our image, is what they think they're doing. It's like, okay, we'll use the image of a Black American since they won't participate, since they won't take part. We'll use people who look enough like them that we can try to hijack their image. The problem is they're not quite the same. What did Kendrick Lamar say? They not like us. Because they're not like us. Thank you, Yovita. They're not like us. Right, Michelle Silman? They are bad actors. They are bad actors. And you can, to me, I can always spot them. A lot of them, they go around and they argue, they yell, they're very racist toward Black American people. That's one thing that I know. A lot of people that are not a part of this community in America are not aware. Hey, 4777. But this is a good time to mention it too while we're talking about things. A lot of the immigrant groups are very racist toward Black American people. And I think that's a valid conversation to have. Okay? Here we go. This person with a victim card. We don't have any victims in here, sir. We don't. I'm not even going to block you yet. Maybe you don't know where you are. I'm going to give you a minute to get your bearings. But a lot of them are extremely racist toward Black American people, right? And so you got to ask yourself, for the Democrat Party to be so hyper-focused on race and equality and civil rights, ask yourself, why the Democrat Party never, ever, ever address the racism from immigrants toward Black Americans? Have y'all ever thought about that? Put a 1 in the chat if you never thought about it. If it never really crossed your mind, geez, how come the Democrats never address the racism, the blatant foaming at the mouth, rabid racism from immigrants toward Black Americans? Put a 1 if you never thought about it. Put a 2 if you always wondered. And be honest, because if it doesn't affect you, I can get why it wouldn't cross your mind. And that's not an implication. That's not that's not an indictment of you or your character. It's just, it never crossed your mind. I see twos. I see a one. Okay, Scrub Mama G. That's my boo. That's my member. That's my first member of my channel over here, Scrub Mama G. And she's being real. She never thought about it. She never thought about it. But I think that we need to. Ron P, it is not both sides. And we're not going to play the both sides game in here. It's never both sides. You see Black Americans responding to blatant racism, slurs, and anti Black American sentiment. Okay? And John Q. Public, you don't have a right to anything unpleasant in my chat. You have a right to your opinion elsewhere. So I said that to say this. I want to point out something. The Democrat Party, if in fact, who says we don't have the same opportunities? Prince Thomas, is English your first language? What are you even talking about? Anyway, anywho, back to the convo. Democrats foam at the mouth anytime they can point out, or whether it's legit or not, if they think a white American has said or done anything that is racist, overtly or covertly, against a Black presenting person, or even if they can detect or feel like they detect a microaggression. And I think we can all agree that's true. The problem would be, we do not see Democrats making 5 different talking points on The View, or sitting on MSNBC having panels and chats about the immigrant population and their severe anti-Black American sentiment. You just don't. You don't see it. And I think that the reason for that is because the Democratic Party is the immigrant party. So they're never going to point out their ills. They're never going to point out their hatred of Black America. They hate Black Americans. And then they feel entitled and demand our labor at the same time. They demand to use our image. They demand to wrap themselves in our traditional dialect, in our music. We saw it during the campaign. What was the first thing they did? They went and paid Black American entertainers to come out and rap and twerk for them, because they feel entitled to our image while blatantly, unashamed, unadulteratedly hating Black Americans. Which, newsflash, the key word is Americans. So we have immigrants who hate Americans in America demanding American social programs and demanding to participate in American government. Y'all got to see what's wrong with that. Ron P says, wow, that's where the mindset is. Seeing the FBA hate on immigrants in the 80s since they came here and started working. Yeah, this is an immigrant. That Ron P person, before I block him, y'all read his comment. This is a Democrat immigrant. This is the kind of things they say. They come here and they say that they work harder than Black American people. Amazing. Isn't it amazing? They've only been here for like 20 minutes. And then now they're better than Black Americans. This is what they do. This Prince Thomas person, he has to go. I don't think he's okay. Yeah, Jen Newman, it's a thing. I mean, you seem to know all about racism from white Americans. Why are you not aware of the racism that comes from immigrant groups? You're not aware? You're not aware. I mean, we've had decades of it at this point. We've had Black Americans have to boycott nail shops with Vietnamese immigrants. We currently have Black Americans having to boycott braiding shops owned by Africans. We've dealt with Black Americans having to protest and sometimes almost aggress Middle Eastern store owners in their that own corner stores in their neighborhoods. Are we really going to sit here and pretend like immigrants are not very anti-black American and racist toward black Americans? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? I know that is usually the play by Democrats. Is that what we're doing? Let me know so I can play along. Don't leave us out. We want to be a part of the game too. Teresa said, I did. So true. The vibes are giving immigrant. Absolutely. Look at this one. I'm a racist. Amazing. Oh, look. Jen says that the racism by Republicans are tricking you. Oh, wow. They're tricking me into hearing Africans call black American citizens slave babies. You Republicans, did you guys send me a hearing aid that made me hear slave babies when Africans call us that, or did we just hear it because our ears work? G. Ben says main issue is the attitude shown at those places. Give it to me again. Make it a little clearer. Hey, John Baptiste. Yes, the conversation gets a little smoky. Transmutation says, Station says it's not the Republicans. Are you sure? Because she said that the Republicans are giving us hearing aids, that it's allowing us, I'm being facetious, she didn't really say that, but she said that they're tricking us. So apparently when we hear Africans call black American citizens slave babies and yell and scream Section 8, even though most black people I know have never been on Section 8, all of those slurs and microaggressions, Republicans tricked us into hearing that. You bad Republicans. Bull City J says Democrats have played us forever, and it's crazy that we allow it over and over. What's even crazier, Bull City, is that the fact that a lot of us are like, yeah, enough of that. They're angry, and their immigrants are like, losing it. They're losing it. G. Ben said, let's be honest, most brothers and sisters have attitude. Every human has an attitude. What sort of attitude do you mean? Teresa says, like they literally rip us off emotionally and scams in Africa. And not to mention imitate absolutely everything that comes from America and then tell us how much they hate us. Dean Grunwald says, hi, I'm from South Africa. I love you girls. Well, thank you. Transmutation Station says, my hearing aid hasn't come in the mail yet. Mine either. I'm going to I'm gonna have to put in an email or something and make a complaint. Jen, I said I was being facetious. It's a joke. Are you okay? I'm telling you I'm joking. I'm not saying you really said that they gave us hearing aids. You said they tricked us. And I'm telling you I wasn't tricked because I'm hearing it out of their mouths. If I go on TikTok right now, you want to hear the stuff they say about black Americans? You want to hear it? Because I'll help you. Michelle says the rhinos would. I agree, but I get what you meant. Absolutely. I know, Roger. It's not the Republicans, but it was just funny that she's like, oh, they're tricking you. No, they're not tricking me. These people say this stuff. Thanks, Jake. Fortnite King says facts. That part I agree with you. I mean, it's crazy. You can say TikTok is toxic, but there are people. These are human beings. And they come on YouTube too. And you see them in real life too. So they're humans. It's not like TikTok is this AI model where it's a computer program that you program to say things. These are things that they say. These are things that they say. Who's forcing them to say these things? Kendian says, is this in Africa? Why on earth would I be in Africa? Fair question. Okay. So we got to point that out. But my biggest point to all of this is, why is the Democratic Party so quiet on anti-black American rhetoric from immigrants? They don't mention it. They don't mention it. They literally don't mention it. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. Let's have fun, right? Because I love when my crew is here. I think most of the trolls are gone. Every now and then, people will wander in and out, and my mods will block them, and we'll have a good time, right? Mm. So look, Democrats have started to, well, not started. They've always stalked Black American citizens. Y'all know that, okay? They always have. Now, what's going on is they're watching us and they're seeing us saying, hey, we are going to delineate, meaning we're going to draw a hard line in the sand to make it very clear, hey, Jenny Patterson, that we are Americans and they are not. They are not us. They are not like us. We do not have the same interests. We do not have the same belief systems. We do not have the same political goals. These people do not have permission or the right to represent us in any way. And because we're doing it, right? Okay, so let's get this person out of here. He's talking about camels and having humans. I know those foreigners, a lot of them believe in slaves and weird stuff like that. Well, I mean, you don't have to announce your departure, Maureen. This is not an airport. Just leave, dear. I'll help you. Anyway, they watch us and they see that we're making things clear that you're not going to use Black Americans as camouflage for your agendas. We're going to make it very clear that you're not us and you're not welcome to represent us. So the next thing that we saw happen, what did we see happen? Amanda Seales on this Jubilee nonsense. I was trapped between gagging. I'm not a computer, New Life. I'm a grandma. I was caught between gagging, laughter, and indignation. So let me paint a picture. They brought in a Caribbean person, which is Amanda Seales. She claims that her father is Black American, but I don't believe you. I don't believe her, right? On top of her saying he never raised her. Okay? So they brought in a Caribbean American, right, transmutation, it was ridiculous, to argue with a bunch of immigrant people who have a lot of nasty anti-Black American sentiment. Right, Adrienne Marie. Amanda was jumping on the bandwagon, but it's deeper than that. And let me explain it to you. The reason it's deeper than that is because what they're doing is, oh God, the Black Americans are leaving the Democratic plantation. We can't race bait like we used to because the immigrants won't stop screaming racial slurs at Black Americans. So let's get a domesticated, somebody who's more Americanized immigrant to come out here as though she can represent Black Americans when we didn't give her any permission either, to argue back at the racist immigrants. And that way, Black people delineating, they can hijack the movement. It was an attempt for Democrats to hijack and immigrant wash Black Americans delineating from immigrants who are using our image and our likeness as camouflage for their sick anti-American agendas. I saw it and I was like, we see you. And I've seen quite a few people realize that we saw you. Hey, Lord Klein, I agree. Jen says, it seems to me there is no desire to hear my conversation points. Don't feed your narrative. I hear you. I read your comments. What do you want me to do, Jen? Should I do jumping jacks and say, go, Jen, go? Either I agree with you or I don't. You don't agree with me. You don't see me crying because you don't agree with me. Is it okay that you don't agree with me and I'm not allowed to not agree with you? I'm still listening to you. No one has blocked you. Don't be emotional. Maurice says, explain to me what Senator Mike Braun was talking about when he said interracial marriage should go to the states. Is he a Democrat? What does that have to do with me? I'm confused. Stephen Fowler, that is our president. What do you mean? Jen says, I can't break through this narrative. Was your intention to change, my analysis of the facts in front of me? The facts are in front of you. You've made an analysis, you've made a decision, and you believe the conclusion that you've come to. So are you saying I don't have a right to come to my own conclusion? Or because I'm black, I'm only allowed to come to a conclusion that agrees with the agendas of the Democratic Party? What are you saying exactly? Jen Newman says, I hope we can all come together. I hope all Americans can come together. That's what I hope. People who are anti-American, who are not from America, who are not a part of America, people who hate Americans, we don't need to come together with them. We need to come together and help them with their baggage onto whichever mode of transportation will get them home. Michelle said he's a Republican governor. Oh, okay. Well, those are his thoughts. Jen says, not emotional. Just sad to see there's such a pollution in the minds of some Americans. I'm not polluted at all. We have an open dialogue. Have you been blocked, Jen Newman? Like, y'all pay attention to what's going on here. Jen Newman is speaking as though she's been blocked and she's not being listened to. Like, I don't even get a chance to read everybody's comments, but I'm making sure to read hers because she is in her thinking process is in the minority in this chat. So I'm making sure that she's not being ignored. And she's still speaking as though somehow she's being treated unfairly. You can't beat that. All the best to you too. But I just want y'all to see the mindset. If they can't insult you into submission, and then they, bring talking points, and when you shoot them down with facts, then, you've done something to them. You're not listening to them. I'm listening to you. I just don't agree. G. Ben said many black movements have been hijacked, but blacks were not able to steer away. You have to retype it, honey. I don't understand what you mean. Hey, Happy Beater. Fatty Lover says, we're all going to need to come together when the Peruvian butt-touching aliens. Okay, yeah, you're special. We're going to help you leave. I don't know who's touching people's backsides. Here's Adebayo Oladipo. Well, 10 guesses where he's from. Let's get you out of here. Let's deport you out of my chat. Hey, Stephen Fowler. You like Americans like me. Well, that's nice. I hope you like all Americans. Because I like all Americans. Even the ones who don't behave nicely, I still like them. I would like you to behave better. Anthony Williams. Yo, people. Please misspell curse words. Dang, the party blames the president. Who's blaming the president? Okay, David, that's interesting. I don't know a lot about Mexican politics, but I believe you. Transmutation said it's the time lapse and the lack of clear commentary. I don't understand. I'm trying to keep up with what y'all are saying in the chat. Okay. Hey, Lisa McCoy. So yeah, like that's the thing that I want to I want someone to answer that for me. Why is it that the Democrat Party is excited to talk about racism? They will call everybody a racist but an immigrant. No matter how racist they are, they won't say a word. Now, if that racist joins the if that racist immigrant joins the Republican Party, then they can see it. Why is it that the Democrat Party can never see a racist immigrant? They never talk about it. Hey, Francesca. Right, Happy Beater. They need to keep racism alive. It's their bread and butter. It's their best tool of manipulation. Without racism, how on earth will they fearmonger? How is it going to work? Thanks, Charlie. Anthony says, yo, it's the people. Okay. That's the thing. And it's like, I'm going to tell you something else. When you look And I do a lot of looking online because I have a couple of channels, right? So I get to see a lot of things. You also see the immigrants do something very funny. That's why I keep telling y'all they're playing both ends against the middle. I'm a mama. I'm a whole granny. You can't do that with me. I've raised children. Children do that. They come to mama and say something to mama about daddy. Then they go to daddy and they say something to daddy about mama. And that way, while mama and daddy are fussing over who gave permission, they get to go and take cookies and candy. They get an extra ice cream sandwich. They're playing outside. Nobody is consented to anything. They're playing both ends against the middle, right? So you have immigrants who are extremely anti black. I mean, the Hispanic or Latino immigrants are horrible, firebombing black residents in LA online, using the N word with a hard ER and saying, "What are y'all gonna do about it?" I mean, just disgusting stuff. Every one of them has a racial slur for black Americans. None of this is addressed by Democrats. You have Africans showing up saying, "Oh, you all are slave babies. You don't own anything." All that weird stuff, no problem. Democrats say nothing. Mum's the word. Caribbeans come here and say all type of stuff. Captive sojourner. Yep, the Africans will call us Akata. Some, and Jareer. Those bush words for slurs for black people. Caribbeans come here and they say a lot of anti-black stuff. Oh, they don't work hard. Black people have worked plenty hard. That's the only reason you're able to come here, because black people worked really, really hard, right? So anyway, the same immigrants, get this one's gonna knock you out. The exact same immigrants, right, will go to black people and say, "Don't delineate from us. Don't stop us from hijacking your movements. Don't stop us from using you as camouflage. Don't stop us from cosplaying you and pretending to be you in Congress. Go and fight white people." I promise you, those are the things they say. When black American women said, "Hey, you're being racist toward us. You're being aggressive toward us. You're calling us names. We're going to boycott your braiding shops on August 1st." There was an overwhelming response from African immigrants saying, "You need to go and fight white people." Without even saying why. Like, why would we need to go fight white people? Like, we've had a lot of fighting in this country, a few hundred years of it. But why do we need to go and fight white people? And it was like a bright light turned on. Like, oh, this is the game. They hate black Americans, and they also hate white Americans. They hate Americans. They are here to take resources. And we had a couple of them online admit it. We're here to get resources. They work, they send their money back home. They do not build up and become a part of communities here. They set up their own individual secluded communities within America. They do not assimilate. They do not become a part of America. They come and they take resources. Jen Newman, that's not a good faith question for you to say what resources. You know doggone well what resources. You know good and well. Oh, Scarlett, a lot of us get it. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. A lot of us get it. That's why we saw Amanda Seales out there doing her performative black woman performance. She's not a black American woman. She's a Caribbean. Right, Demond France. I wasn't even going to answer her because that was honestly a disingenuous question. Yep, the Italians and the Irish did it as far as keeping their own individualized, secluded communities. The difference is those Italian and Irish immigrants were not coming here just to send money back home and to stoke the fires of racism and to instigate fights between Americans. That's not what they came to do. And that's what these people are doing. Right, Francesca? Not so private playlist. Wow, is that your yes, it's my hair. Who wants old woman gray hair? Do you know anybody who wants old lady gray hair? I mean, I can, it doesn't even hold a curl, honey. But thank you. That's a weird thing to ask. We're talking about the state of the country, and you're worried about this old woman's hair. Menopause has done a number on my hair, as a matter of fact. It used to look really nice. But thanks. Yes, Ishel, he did say that he's going to start taxing them sending their money back home. And he needs to. He needs to. See, they told on themselves because one of the Democrat immigrant senators was writing some legislation to try she was drafting legislation to try to make Black Americans a sixth region of Africa, which was insane. What the hell do we have to do with Africa? That was the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. So in the process of doing so, she was detailing how many billions of dollars these immigrants are sending back to Africa and how they're enriching Africa. And next thing we know, it's like, okay, well, since you're advertising how much money you're sending out of America that's not being taxed, I was happy that our dear president decided to tax that money. Mm-hmm. Lisa McCoy said inflation is a result of a lot of what you're saying, beautiful lady. It's true. It's very true. Thanks, Matthew. Yeah, we're talking about that and some other things, not so private playlist. It still looks nice, Sarah. Thank you. But you know, the older you get, those ladies like myself who are going through and have gone through menopause, they can tell you it ravages your hair. You get like it's not as shiny, it gets dull. We're not even going to talk about the grays, and it thins out. You know, it's a part of aging. I know aging is a part of life. There's no way around it, you know? No way around it. It just happens. Antonio X says, I want to say this. If you earn the money, you can do with it what you want. Absolutely. And when you're making those kind of transactions, you need to pay taxes too, because that's a part of the social contract of being an American. We pay taxes. Sarah says, I'm a grandma pre-menopause for myself. It's for me yet. Oh, you're only 40. Okay. That's all right, girl. Menopause is around the corner and it's not fun. Not fun at all. Jenna said the cabin kids made half my hair fall out. A lot of women go through that. Try saw palmetto, SAW, palmetto, saw palmetto. It's really good for like when your hair starts to turn on you. Dora the Explorer says, you lie. It was not a Democrat. You lie. It was not a Democrat. Your hair never going to straight. Who was a Democrat? And my hair is never going to straight what? Okay. Jen said immigrants don't get any access to American government programs. Ma'am, that is a patent lie. Not only a lie, that is a patent lie. So, Jen, have you gone from trying to convince us of your talking points to just telling lies? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing, Jen? Don't do that. Don't do that. DS, if he's spamming the chat, just delete him. Don't even ask him again. They do pay taxes, and now they're going to pay taxes on that money they're sending back home to their countries. And now they're going to do that. Michael says that's the same with a lot of immigrants, not just the ones from Africa. The Islamic immigrants in particular will rather take over complete communities and impose their own values. That's exactly what they do. And then they turn around and mistreat Black American people who they disproportionately live around. Jen, you know you're lying. You know you're lying. They absolutely have access to programs. Or are we just going to pretend like they were not receiving $5,000 a month until it was put a stop to? Are we going to pretend that they were not getting free housing and being put up in hotels in New York City and other places? Are we going to pretend that that wasn't happening? Are we really going to pretend they weren't getting food stamps and monetary stipends and housing? Is that what we're doing? If you plan on telling lies, you should give up. This is a Christian channel. Don't do that. It wasn't debunked. It was the truth. And it was costing us a pretty penny while leaving our veterans homeless. See, this is why I can't, it's hard to reason with Democrats because they don't make sense. This person believes that that behavior is perfectly great, but having people who defended our country, defended our flag, and donned our uniforms sleeping on the streets, that's great. But an immigrant being put up in hotels on taxpayers' money, that's fine. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. It's great. Let's have another round of that. Are we really going to pretend like those visa lotteries are not funded by U.S. taxpayer dollars? Are we really going to pretend that's what's going on? And how they come here and they're able to take advantage of, is it Section 3 of the HUD? Of HUD? Is it Section 3? I think that's the one that they're taking advantage of to start those businesses. And they get government grants too that are specifically for them. So there's a lot of government money that they have access to. Right, Francesca? U.S. taxpayers' money. Yep, they take advantage of Section 3. Yep. Free rent, all sorts of things. They give them money to start businesses, and those businesses are tax exempt for, I believe, the first 7 years. And when they get grants, also, those grants are counted as income for the business. And they use that to qualify for other grants and loans. So it's really a whole big old scam. It's a whole big old nasty grift. Anthony's saying it's free for 10 years. I thought it was 7. It could be 10. I'm getting old. Hey, Sherry. Heather Blassingame says, and free school. I was paying for it before I was born. And it's been going on for over 30 years. Yes, indeed. Right? Not so private playlists. But they don't want us to talk about that. We're not supposed to. It's supposed to be, mum's the word. Don't say that. Don't mention that. Absolutely not. Sarah says, also, a lot of them know how to use these programs to qualify for a bunch of scams. Well, when they get here, there are officials that sit them down and walk them through the process. So, yeah, all of these things have to stop. They all have to stop. Look, we got another immigrant. Your community suffers and struggles. Our community is actually doing better than they've done ever. We're not oppressed. I know that's like a narrative that Democrats have fed you, and you need to believe it because it fuels, theft from immigrants like yourself. But we're not oppressed. We're really okay. I was raised in a normal family with my mama and my daddy. Like everybody else's daddy. He was grumpy, he was gassy, and he worked every day. Jen Newman says Medicaid, SNAP, and SSI, and temporary, whatever. They do get Medicaid, like literally they just ended in a lot of the states Medicaid for illegal aliens. And they were getting food assistance, ma'am. Bobby Sandoval says, you're letting Jen confuse the narrative. Immigrant implies here legally. Illegal immigrant implies here illegally. I get what she's doing, Bobby, but they're both receiving things that they shouldn't be. I personally feel like I don't care if you come here legally. If you're an immigrant, you need to come here financially fit and able to take care of yourself. I don't think you should be getting any benefits from a system that you've never contributed to. Magpie said, I spent 5 years in Florida, helping out American vets and elderly get through the system for benefits, while immigrants were guided through the system by the say it again, Magpie. Because see, when I say it, you'll have people like Jen who'll say she's lying. I'm telling the truth. Thank you, Magpie, for testifying to the truth. And Francesca says they actually give them SSA. Mm-hmm. Okay, G Ben, bye. You're disgruntled. I can't help you. Like, we can talk back and forth a little bit, but we can't do that. Ooh, Anthony says, I know some of them here in Philly are getting $3,000 a month just in food stamps. Oh yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Sarah says wrapping off this bandages isn't going to be fun. It will hurt and be uncomfortable for all that are not rich. True, but it needs to happen. Hey, that one Pyro. Not So Private Playlist says, and no one wants to talk about it because everyone wants to be polite and realizing they're sacrificing for their own children's future. Right. Thank you, DS, for deleting that person who's coming here to talk about eyebrows. I don't care about eyebrows. I don't even have on makeup. I don't care about eyebrows. Okay. So listen, guys. Oh, hold on. Don says my wife works at a hospital and the surgeries have been cut by over 3/4 because of the Medicare Medicaid cuts. Okay. Now that's something valid that we probably need to look into. Maybe we need to, write some senators and see what they can do to adjust some things. Those are the things that I'm willing to fight for. Those are things that I'm willing to, make noise about, agitate, get with our legislative branch and say, hey, we need y'all to adjust this. That I can get behind because it affects American citizens. And so when bills pass, certain stuff needs to be tweaked. It needs to be fixed. It would have been nice had we got it fixed while it was being drafted. But if we didn't, those are things that we can make noise about. Those are things we can shake the table about. But illegal immigration is never going to be one of those things. Teresa says, I've been disabled, and from here, 58 years to get mine, still haven't got it. 6 years. Oh, wow. Jonathan wants to know the percentage of the illegal population. We'll take account after we get more of them out. Hey, Tina. Welcome. Thank you, Heather. Okay, Bobby says that's a bit lost. I know a lot of immigrants, a lot of my family that immigrated here don't take benefits. That's great for them, but a lot do. I agree, Twitch Red. If you don't work, you shouldn't eat. Oh, she says now they're under prescribing. I believe that too. Mm-hmm. Right, Scarlett. Those are the type of people we want here. If you can work, take care of your family, and be a part of community, we absolutely want you here. Why wouldn't we want you here? And Anthony says people are going hungry in Philly. I'm sorry to hear that. And there's got to be something that can be done. The people who are going hungry, I hope they are, availing themselves of the systems that are there, the food kitchens, the churches, and I hope the ones that are able-bodied are working. Because we have to normalize expecting people to work too, because you have to work. Like, this is not a place where you can just sit and, everything's going to be provided. You do have to work. And if you're disabled, then there are programs in place to assist you. But if you're not disabled, we do need you to work. You got to work. Jonathan says only 14 million illegals. They're not making noise. They're making a strain on the system. Amy Hayes says, I was wondering why a lady that came here as a refugee moved into our neighborhood and bought a house and a car within months. I would stretch and stretch what I have. Oh, yeah, because they're giving them things, they're giving them tangibles for a lot of reasons. One of which is because it is establishing and solidifying a voter base for them. Anthony, do you mean to put yo in front of everything you type? People are sending children to school hungry. And why are they not receiving assistance to feed their children? We have assistance programs for American citizens. Why are they not doing that? Lord, Sarah said, I get a sponsor. Sarah, I'm not going to respond to that. You crazy, but I'm not going to respond to that. I'm not going to judge, but I'm not going to respond to that. Twitch Red said, a few bad apples ruined the bunch, unfortunately. There's more hardworking immigrants than not, but there's criminals and leeches staring the country? You mean starving the country? Right, Magpie. Work hard to play hard. I like it. Senor Patas de Bolas. If you came with a lot of money and you came legally, we don't have a problem with you. So if it doesn't apply, dear, you know the rest. Right, Money Moves. It's all about those votes. He said, yo, it's a East Coast thing. I know a lot of people from the East Coast, and we talk all the time, and there's not a yo in the beginning of all their sentences. I just asked because I thought it was strange. Hey, Amanda, I pick up a receipt from a grocery that a lady dropped, and she had a balance of $14,000 on her SNAP card. So yes, they're taking our money. Yes, they are. But you know that people want to gaslight us and make us not say it because it apparently it makes you morally superior if you're okay with immigrants sucking resources out of the system. Right, Sarah, I know. I'm just laughing because you're crazy, okay? Literary Pharaoh, I'm telling you, she's not joking. Right, Bill Leslie, flying Mexican flags, Jamaican flags, insert African country of your choice flags, insert South American country of your choice flags. They fly their flags in our country. Meanwhile, if your country was great, why are you not there? Amanda said that was right there in Texas. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, Francesca. She said, I love the 39 million. Did you say or illegal? Their parents were here illegally. They are birthright citizens, which should not be here. Absolutely. I was very happy to hear that we were going to put a stop to that birthright crap. Jonathan says people will always judge by the color of skin. Even if you legally here, you will always be looked at as illegals. Well, Jonathan, did you not know the environment of America? Not you, but those people. They know who America is. They talk about us incessantly, constantly, right? So the reality is, if you know who America is, and you know that there's racial tensions here because just of the nature of the place, why would you be breaking your neck to come here? And then cry about experiencing the same racial tension that everybody else experiences in this country. You're not special. And I think immigrants are going to have to tuck that up under their hat too. You're not special. Hey, Southbound Redneck, how you doing? I'm so glad to see you. You're not special. You're not. America's a tight spot. Everybody experiences racial tension. Black people, white people, everybody. So if you're an immigrant and you come here and it's like, oh, they're looking at me a certain way. So this is America. You know, if you're at home, nobody will look at you funny for your complexion because everybody's got the same complexion. You come here to a melting pot where there's lots of racial tension and then cry because you experience racial tension? Who sent for you? Okay, we gotta listen. Don't be in here insulting folks. Just take it easy. Senior El Patas de Bola said, "Don't forget you're not native to the land. Don't you forget that a lot of Americans are exactly that, native to the land. While you're sitting here telling us that no American is native to the land. Have a great time with that." Yeah, we're not talking about the continent because nobody is deporting your folks or any folks off the continent. You just can't be in this country. So go to the country where you're native, right? Vladstein said, "I don't see race. I see a fellow American." Y'all know on this channel the only colors we respect are red, white, and blue anyway. Right, Dayton Garrett. Dayton says, "I'd rather immigrants come legally or don't come at all. As if you got to come across illegally. What are you hiding?" Right. Like, what's the point? Why can't you come legally? Skylar, I said that not long ago. When I see people from south of the border saying, "Oh, this used to be this," it's like, listen, wars were fought, deals were made. Either you're going to declare war and fight to get your land back, or be quiet. Don't sneak across the border. Don't be cowardly. If you want to fight, fight. Don't sneak in and try to just steal resources. Don't do that. That's just cowardly and corny. Don't do that. Teresa said it's just North America here. There's also Central and South America. Yeah, there's lots of countries on this landmass, but this particular country, for some reason, everybody's trying to break into. It's just weird. Listen, like I said, I didn't say you. I said you, your people, or anybody who feels that way. Any immigrant who feels like I'm being looked at like an illegal because of my complexion, get over it. Like, Jonathan, really get over it. I want you to think about what you're saying and who you're saying it to. You're talking to an entire Black American person. Do you realize that you're complaining to someone who's experienced far more racial tension than you? And I'm still not crying about it. Because this is America. It's America. What are you crying for? Don't be so liberal. Don't be such a Democrat, dear. This is America. Everybody experiences racial tension. Do you realize white Americans experience racial tension? And you're actually coming here to cry to a Black American woman about experiencing racial tension? Really? Tighten up. Tighten up. Right, Sarah? Tell them. Get some thick skin. This is America. If you're that fragile, I don't know if this is the best place for you. I don't. Good luck with that. Everybody experiences racial tension. Sarah, I'm just telling the truth. Because this place is not for the faint of heart. And they're literally trying to turn us into a place for the faint of heart. Let's pet everybody's feelings. Let's everybody talk soft and tickle people with feathers. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Like, let's just make sure that we pet everybody's feelings. Get over it. No, Jonathan Guerra, we're not crying about illegals. You know what we did do? We voted for a president who would kick them out. Yeah, and that's not how you spell whining either. That looks like winning. Whining has an H in it. I'm just saying. Lovey Tim said it doesn't make it right. You know what else? I can't eat a whole German chocolate cake and not gain weight. That doesn't make that right either. It's reality. At a certain point, you have to live in reality. You got to live in reality. Get over it. Get over it. We got us a liberal. We're calling people Uncle Toms and all this stuff. You know it's them. The minute name calling starts, you know it's them. They can't take a joke. They want to censor comedy. We can't even tell a joke around here, honey. And they're in the chat crying because somebody looks at them and assumes they're illegal. Wow, isn't that something? I have immigrants that look at me and assume that I must be a slave baby on Section 8 with a baby daddy, because those are the things they say. I'm not crying. Get over it. Vladstein, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, here's a drink on me. I'm a mod over at Set Media React. Would love to have you join us over there. Set streams around midnight Central Time. I would love to check that out. It's called Set Media React. I will make it my business to pop through and see what you guys are talking about. Welcome and thank you so much for the support. But yeah, we got to get over it. Like, this is America. This is a rough place. This is a rough place. And you know what? I love it. I wouldn't live anywhere else. Jonathan says, but slavery was legal, so don't mention. What are you talking about slavery for? Are there any slave plantations still operating in America? This is the mindset of a Democrat. This man is telling me about slavery. Is it because I'm black? Oh God. You cannot make this stuff up. This man said, listen, y'all. Jonathan said people look at him and assume that he's illegal because of how he looks. He then assumes because of how I look that he should tell me about slavery. Are you aware that some of us have done our genealogy? Fun fact, I've gone about 15 generations back on my mother's side, 12 on my father's side, and I have not found a slave. So why would you assume because I have dark melanin and I'm a black American woman that let's talk about slavery? Do you see how racist y'all are? And you don't even know it. America's full of racial tension. You got to get over it. But you got to stop. You got to stop. It's like y'all see a black person and start screaming slavery. Blessed assurance. Like, just stop. LR 2026 said because he's clueless. That is crazy. Hi, Stafford. Welcome. That is insane. I've never seen it. John, then he says, how do now you don't like it when it happens to you? It's not, what do you mean? How do I not like it when it happens to me? This is America. It happens all the time. You literally just did it. Oh my God. Hey, Scott Buckner. No, Tony, I'm not related to President Trump at all. I don't have anybody from his country of origin in my lineage, in my genealogy at all. I don't. I do not. Lord Anthony says we're going to be in chains. What kind of things are you getting into over the weekends, Anthony? I've never been in chains. I don't know if they chafe or I don't think it would fit my aesthetic. Never been in chains. Never for once, right? Thank you, Scott. Okay. Lou says no chains. Yeah, no chains. Anthony says rappers. Well, I don't rap. It does sound like some BDSM stuff, Vlad. I'm not gonna lie. Says rappers chains. Okay, well, I don't rap. I did try to help my children. They had a project in middle school, like try to come up with a rap about something about the environment or something, and they kicked me out. They told me I was not cool and to, kindly leave their room. So, safe to say, no rap career for Granny. It's not going to happen. Sorry. Bobby says he raps. So I tried. They told me I was not good. You're missing the point. My what is missing the point? My what is cool? This one told me to straighten up a wig that I don't have. Would you like to buy me a wig? I don't have one. I don't have one. Teresa said, the real slavery no one talks about with our government, I want a refund. Right, those good old, income taxes. Nathan, I love it. Today is the day that the Lord has made. I love it. I love it. But yeah, that was funny. That was hilarious. Listen, what was his name again? John? Was it John? Jonathan. Yeah, John. I was calling him John. Jonathan. Jonathan is hilarious. Thank you, Jimbo. I've never been in one of those. Was never one of those girls. Thanks, Tony. I was on the basketball team and the weightlifting team, and I ran track. I was never a beauty pageant girl. Mm-mm. Sarah says, if all you can do is point out what you think is a flaw on someone else, just shows how wrong you are and how right she is. Or why would you try to tear down people that have done nothing to you to deserve that? I mean, that's kind of what they do. That's usually how I know I'm looking at a Democrat or a liberal. Oh, Bobby played basketball and ran cross country. I could only like sprint. I'm not built for cross country. Have a lot of muscle, but even when I was a teenager, I was not very, I didn't have that kind of endurance. Nathan played college basketball for a bit. So did my husband. Well, he had a full scholarship to college for basketball. Skylar, now that's not nice. Skylar says rappers are dumb. What do you expect? Instead of buying a house, they buy a chain for the same price. That's not nice. And most rappers do own lots of property. A lot of them have very diverse portfolios. That's a stereotype. Now you're acting like Jonathan. Don't do that. They're very talented people, and I love their art. I love what they do. I just don't know how to do it. As long as it's not something that's, too X-rated, I'll tap my toe to it and bob my head a little bit. Yep. Pretty nifty. Mm-hmm. Sarah says, wait, girl, you're beautiful inside and out. Your confidence is very attractive. God-fearing woman, sister, you are perfect the way you are. You too. Everybody here, y'all are fearfully and wonderfully made by God. Jody Nolan, hey boo. Jody says, Jonathan came up here talking about Americans are racist towards him and brings up slavery to a host. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. Bobby says Zion is a good rap group for the people. I have to look them up. Jonathan says, look, you obviously got triggered when I didn't get triggered. I was tickled. You made me laugh. But of course, if you tell a joke, I'm going to laugh, darling. I'm not going to sit around with a stick up my backside. I'll leave that to the chain people. Hey, Coke 956 in Texas. Well, Tony Bethel, if you don't care, why are you here? Let's block you. Let me help you. Hi, Brenda Jimenez. But yeah, if you tell a joke, I'm going to laugh. That because it was funny. Jonathan, I couldn't get past like the irony of it all. Because you weren't trying to make me laugh. You thought you were making a point by mentioning slavery to a black person in a YouTube stream. This is America. Everybody fights. Everybody gets racial tension. You gotta get a thicker skin. Learn how to laugh. Hey, Pedro. You got to learn how to laugh, Jonathan. It's not that deep. Jonathan says racist is not about hate. You could like everyone and still be a racist. Racism is thinking your race is superior. That is not what racism is, actually. Racism is a system of oppression where you're able to oppress or disenfranchise another group based on race. If you're going to like make your whole life all about racism, you got to actually know what it is, right? But yeah, that was some weird crap you did. People looking at me because of how I look and saying I'm illegal. And then start talking about racism to a black person. That was hilarious. Jonathan, you're the bomb. Definitely you should do stand up. Hi, Dennis. So listen, guys, I had a good time. This is so much fun. Please. Yeah, Haas, you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. Like, you can't take yourself or anybody that serious. And Vladstein, Dave Chappelle, is one of the greatest comedians. He's pretty funny. So listen, guys. Next go round, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Talk to me in the replay comments. Let me know if you guys want to do a call-in show next time, especially if you're a member or a subscriber. Let me know if y'all want to do a call-in show. Listen, I desperately want to do a call-in show with you guys. I do, because I want to hear what you think and I want to hear it from you. Because a lot of times if we can get a few people up and we can get a good conversation going, you can get your point across better than typing, because sometimes typing you might leave a word out, or like you right, definitely Michelle Silman, respectfully, or like people may misunderstand your tone when you're typing, but when you're talking they can hear your tone, and you don't have to turn your camera on or anything. They don't You have to show your face, but they can hear your tone of voice and they can figure out, okay, what they meant was, you know what I'm saying? So we'll do a call-in show. Wait, tell me the name of it again. Set React Nation. Is that what you said, Vladstein? I'm gonna hang around so you can tell me again, because I want to make sure I let me get my notebook, because I have to write notes. I forget things now. Is it called, did you say Set React? Tell me again so I can write it down. Thank you, Teresa. Set Media React. Okay, thank you. You see, I was about to mess it up. Set Media React. All right. I'm going to make sure that I try to get through there this evening. I do have to do a couple of other lives, okay? But this was fun. I always have fun on this channel. I love this crowd. I love the audience. And I love the interaction. So we're going to do a call in. Maybe next time, maybe we'll come in here first. And maybe we'll come in here first and get everybody gathered up, and then we'll go on over. We'll switch over to a call-in live stream, okay? So that's what we'll do, okay? So listen, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great time. Have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. If you're going out, please be safe. No drinking and driving. No drinking and boating. No drinking and hunting. All of the above. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourselves. And as always, remember, God loves you. I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it, okay? Bye, everybody.